Hey y'all, in this video, this guy is the star of the show. This is a sheet pan and it is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen to use. It's so versatile. You can make all kinds of meals on the sheet tray. I made some pancakes, I made a dessert, and I also made a couple dinners with it. And I think you're gonna love these recipes. And this video is a part of a huge collab, and it's hosted by my sweet friend Sammi at Managing the Maze, and we are bringing you sheet pan ideas and recipes. And there are so many people in this collab. I know you're going to get some great recipes out of it for your sheet pan, and I cannot wait to watch all the videos. And I'll have Sammi's channel linked down below as well as a playlist, so make sure you go check out her channel and like and subscribe and check out the playlist because you're going to get some great recipes. There are some awesome channels in this collab, and I know you'll find some recipes you'll like. So I'm going to turn you around and show you what I made with my favorite sheet pan. All right, the first recipe is going to be a sheet pan pancake, and I'm using the Walmart baking mix, but I'm not going by the recipe on the back. So I will have the recipes all linked below down in the description box, and I'll have the exact measurements. But I've got some melted butter here, and I'm just going to spread that all over the pan to make sure that nothing sticks. And just make sure you get that all over the pan. I've got 2 eggs here. I've got 3 cups of the baking mix, and I'm also using 2 cups of milk. I've already got 1 cup of milk in there, and I'm just going to mix that around. And I'm not going to mix this all the way. You want it a little bit lumpy. I don't know why, but America's Test Kitchen says to do it that way, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to spread it on the pan. This was really easy. And the only thing that I would do different is that I don't think I had it evenly poured on each side. So one side got a little bit more done than the other. Just make sure it's evenly coated on the sheet pan. And this is so easy to make. We had plenty left over, so if you have a crowd, this is perfect for a breakfast. And also, I had a lot left over, so I'm going to freeze it. That way, we'll have a quick and easy breakfast next week, and I don't have to cook the whole week. But I am using bananas, sprinkles, and chocolate chips. And by far, I think the most favorite was the chocolate chip. So I think I'll do next time just 1 whole pan of the chocolate chips. But the boys really love this. So it really came together easy. You could always make different things. You could put peanut butter on the bananas. You could use different kind of sprinkles. You could use different kind of chips. You could put peanut butter in there. It's just anything that you like in your pancakes or on your pancakes, you can do it. Strawberries would really be good too, and also blueberries. But I think the boys really like the chocolate chips the best, so I think I'll do another one with just chocolate chips next time. It baked about 20 minutes at 350 degrees, and this came out so good. The boys really loved it. So if you got a bunch of people that you need to feed, this is perfect. And it came right out of the pan, so all that butter really did a good job with helping it come right out of the pan. As you can see, the boys really loved them, and we had plenty left over, so we'll have that again tomorrow for breakfast. This first meal is the reason why I love a sheet pan dinner, because you can take all your things in your freezer and refrigerator that you need to use up, and you can throw it on a sheet tray with some oil and some spices, and you can have a dinner. And that's exactly what I'm doing tonight. I've got some Italian dressing I need to use up. I've got 2 carrots past their prime that need to be used, and also that chicken and the potatoes and an onion and the Brussels sprouts. They are getting ready to expire, so I need to use all this up. And the great thing is you can just cut up everything and throw some oil and spices in there, and you've got dinner. But those Brussels sprouts were not good. They smelled so horrible. I had to throw them outside. So I ended up finding some green beans in the freezer, and I got to use those up. And just like I said, that's the reason why sheet pan dinners are so wonderful, because it doesn't matter what kind of vegetables you have, as long as they all cook at the same time, that's all you need. So if you have something that needs to cook a lot longer, put that on there first and then add everything after that. Okay, so I've got everything mixed together in the bowl, so I'm going to add the Italian dressing and just get that combined. And you know I'm going to add my spices, my onion powder and my garlic powder, and then I also added salt and pepper. But you could add any kind of spice you like. That's why sheet pan dinners are so versatile, because you can add all your favorite things, your favorite spices, and just whatever you like, and mix it together and you're good to go. I like to put my sheet pan in the oven and let it get nice and hot before I put my veggies on there. That way it'll give it a head start and it doesn't steam. But I'm just going to put this in a single layer and put it in a 425-degree oven until the chicken is done, and that's it. I mean, come on, how can you beat a sheet pan dinner? Because everything's done. You don't have to do a side dish. Everything's ready. And all I had to do was just put some Parmesan cheese on the top, and it was perfect. And we had dinner in under 30 minutes. Tonight we're going to do a sheet pan quesadilla, and I'm using ground beef, and it just has taco seasoning in there. And at first I thought I didn't need to make a whole sheet pan because it's just two of us, but you need to make the whole sheet pan full because this was so good. Doug said it was one of the top 5 dinners he's had that I've made, so you've got to make this. So all I've done was take 5 tortillas, and I'm going to take the ground beef and put that in the middle of all the tortillas, and then I'll just wrap it up. And then we'll put another sheet pan over the top and bake it. This was amazing. It really looked more like one of those crunch wraps that comes from Taco Bell, but this was so good. You have got to try it. And I know I've watched the Pioneer woman make it, but she used chicken. But I've used so much chicken this week that I wanted to try and make it with some ground beef. But you could make it with chicken if you would like, but this was really good just like it was. And now I'm going to cover it with some cheese. I'm using some Colby Jack and some pepper jack that I had left over. And you could also put beans in here. You could put jalapenos, salsa, just whatever you'd like. But for the first time making it, I just wanted to keep it simple. So I'm just using cheese, and I'll do my toppings on the top. But this was so good. You've got to try it. And this was really quick and easy and perfect for a Taco Tuesday. So I'm just going to cover it with the cheese, and then I'll wrap it up. Okay, I put the tortilla in the middle, and then I folded up each side. It was a little bit tricky, but I finally got it. And I just took some avocado oil and rubbed that over the top. You could also use butter, but I had avocado oil on hand, so I just sprayed that. And then you're going to put another sheet pan on top, and that's when you will bake it at about 400 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. And when it comes out, it will be golden brown on both sides. Y'all, this was so good. Look at that ooey gooey cheese and that meat. This was just one of the easiest sheet pan dinners I've ever made. And we really loved them. Like I said, Doug said it was one of his top 5 meals. So I hope y'all try it. I just topped it with some lettuce, some cilantro, some salsa, and some cheese with some sour cream. And it was amazing, y'all. I hope y'all try it. All right, this dinner is going to be a panko and Parmesan crusted pork. This was a pork loin, but when I took it out of the freezer, I didn't realize it had a lot of fat on it. So by the time I cut out all the fat, I had 5 squares of pork left, but it was so good. I think this is my favorite meal of the week. I hope you try this with a pork loin or with pork chops. But all I did was mix some Parmesan cheese in with some panko breadcrumbs. Y'all, you could put this on a shoe and it's going to be good. So I didn't use a recipe, but I will have a recipe link below that I kind of went as a guide. But I'm just going to mix that up with some salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder like I always do. And I'm also going to add some parsley flakes. I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil to the pork. And then I'll add the panko and the Parmesan in there and mix that together. You could also do this in the sheet pan if you'd like. That way you won't have to dirty up a lot of dishes. But I just like to mix mine in there so I don't get a whole lot of panko and stuff on the sheet pan and it would burn. But I want to make sure I get all this coated really well because I like that crunch on the pork. And I lined my baking sheet with some parchment paper just so it wouldn't be as hard to clean up. And I'm just going to layer that on one side of the parchment paper. Right, I had some asparagus, so I'm going to use that. I've got that on the other end of my tray, and I'm just going to sprinkle some avocado oil on there and get that mixed together really good. I also put salt and pepper on there, and I'm going to add some of that panko and parmesan that I had on the pork, and I'm just going to put that on there. I know it had the pork on it, but as long as it cooks, it'll be fine. So I'm just going to add the rest of the panko on there, and I'm going to add carrots since I'm going to heat up my potatoes that I had in my last video. So I added some carrots. They're always nice and delicious on a sheet tray. And I cooked it for about 20 minutes, and that pork was just amazing. And those asparagus, I think that's the best asparagus I've ever had. I mixed up some honey mustard and put it on that pork, y'all. It was so good. The crunchy pork with that creamy sauce on there, oh my goodness, it was so good. I cannot wait to make this again. I've already ate dinner and I'm already ready to eat it again. It was that good, y'all. This last recipe is going to be like a big Easter egg. It started out with I was going to make bars, but that didn't kind of work out. So I went ahead and mixed up some sugar cookie dough, and I'm using some vanilla icing and some sprinkles that I had from Easter, and I'm just going to make a big Easter egg. Well, it turned out it was, after I baked it, it looked more like a circle than an egg, but it was still delicious, and I think it turned out really cute, and I'll definitely try again and make this on Easter, and I think the kids would love to help me make it too. I did mix it per the package directions. It just called for an egg and some softened butter. So I just mixed that around until it formed a dough. And then I put it on the sheet pan and kind of formed it into what I thought was an oval like an egg, but it didn't turn out that way. So it was kind of a fail that way, but just the shape was the only thing that went wrong. Everything else turned out really good. I just baked it until it was lightly golden brown. You want it a little bit chewy, but it looks like a pizza crust more than a cookie. But I just put that whole container of icing all over it, and that was just a small container, and I used the whole thing. Okay, I've got the icing all smoothed out, and now I'm going to go ahead and add the sprinkles. And those are so cute. They've got like little carrots in there, all kinds of little spring colors. I think it turned out really cute, even though it's not an egg shape. I cut them into squares, and we all loved them. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have got to try all those recipes. They were so easy to make. And I'll have Sammi's channel linked down below, as well as the playlist. I'll also have all the recipes down below that you can try. So I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.